Okay, this is like my fourth time recording this video. Uh, the reason why is because the first three, I think I spoke way too long, and the fourth one, the lighting was pretty bad. So now I have a second light that's right in my face, and it's pretty blinding. But I'm gonna record the video anyway. Um, so this week has been, I guess this week has been okay. Or no, I should say, I want to take a step back and say it's actually been good. I actually want to give myself some credit for this week. I've been socializing more. I reached out, or I've been in contact, or I've just been talking to friends that I haven't talked to in a while. One important piece was reaching out to someone in particular who I thought would cause me a lot of panic. Things that you conjure up in your mind a lot. Like, for instance, when it comes to agoraphobia, there's places, there's places that will make you panic, right? So you avoid that. But you can do that. You can kind of do like a similar thing when it comes to like socializing and things like that. Like you put up avoidances when it comes to specific people, either because you think that they're going to make you panic somehow, or that you just think that your anxiety is going to increase because you're having this conversation with them. And that's what I thought would happen if I reached out or if I spoke to this specific person. It was at a time where this particular person saw me go through this, through what I'm currently going through. So there was like that history, I don't know. It just had a lot of history attached to this person. So, I just felt that for some reason, I felt that talking to this person was going to cause me to have a lot of increased anxiety and increased panic. But this week I reached out to them regardless. Yeah. I mean, it didn't cause me more anxiety. Maybe some slight feelings, like reminiscing a little bit about stuff, like just like that feeling of like, yeah, it's you, because it's kind of odd, because when you do things at it or speak to people, and you kind of like realize that you were talking to them at a time when you weren't going through this phase in your life, and it's like that feeling. So anyways, but I talked to them. I actually felt pretty good doing that, like it felt good. It felt grounding. Same goes for the other person that I talked to. So socializing has been improving. I also downloaded an app that my friend recommended. It's called Clubhouse. It's essentially like a podcast. It's like different rooms, and people are in there, and there's numerous. There can either be like one speaker or like numerous speakers, but yeah, like there's just a lot of people talking and stuff. So on one of my walks, I listened to I was listening to a conversation, and that was good, because another thing that I needed to address was engaging or listening to things that weren't about panic, that weren't about anxiety. Because, like I said, like when you're in this anxiety inducing state, panic, anxiousness, all these other symptoms, uh, agoraphobia can lead to these things as well. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of panic and anxiety, but you deal with a lot of symptoms because of all these things. So sometimes, in certain cases, that's all you know at the moment. That's all you know because you're so in this panic state. So allowing yourself to do things like listen to people have a conversation about something other than anxiety is can be hard. So anyways, I listened to people talk about mindfulness. It wasn't so much about the actual like meditation. It was just about just them having a conversation about things. So that was cool to listen to. I also listened to this other positive affirmation thing. This guy was actually doing positive affirmation on audio with like music in the background. That was cool. I listened to that for like an hour, while sitting here. So being social has improved. That's good. Also, the anxiousness has decreased. So I found that my body is allowing me to actually relax more and like allow me to lay in bed in the mornings more, because for me, like my anxiousness caused me to always be on the go. Like right first thing in the morning when I woke up, like 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm like, all right, it's time to get up. It's time to get up. It's time to chase the world. It's time to go outside. It's time to you need to make progress. Like if you're not making progress, you got to go out right now. Like get up. It wasn't enjoyable. Like it was very much like boom, you got to get up, you got to do these things like one by one, like just like having like a set routine one by one, and it was just draining. It's draining. Like in the moment, you feel like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, but like I don't know, it's so draining when it's anxiousness that's causing you to do these things. It sucks. Like, it really sucks. Anyways, like when your body's allowing you to relax, I'm learning to take those moments in. Like the other day, I was laying down for like an hour in my bed, like during the day, and like listening to. Like my intention wasn't to go to sleep, and I didn't fall asleep, but I listened to like calming, sleep hypnosis music or audio, whatever, and I felt very like at peace, I just relaxed. So I allowed myself to do that. So the important thing is allowing yourself to be able to relax. Providing yourself with that relaxation when you feel that the anxiousness is decreasing, and you will start to feel it. Like you'll just feel more laid back. As the days or as the weeks go on, when you start to get out of your anxiousness. This might not apply to everybody, but I'm specifically talking to people who are extremely on edge and anxious. But when you see those small windows of allowing yourself to relax, like take those moments and actually relax, because your body needs to relax. Like you need to start, or what I need to start doing, what I'm practicing to do, is like normalizing being able to relax. So, taking a step back, and I feel like I'm at a place, or like my mind is kind of getting to a place where I can, it's taking a few steps back, and it's like, okay, like now we can start to relax. So I'm thankful for that. So that's something that's been happening, like a decrease in anxiousness. I haven't got too much into coloring this week as I intended, but I plan on doing it either today or tomorrow. But I'll follow up in this towards the end of the video of what I plan to do this coming week. The sleep has kind of been up and down. I think it's been more on the downside as of recently, because like one day I couldn't go to sleep until like 4:30 in the morning, and then last night I went to sleep at like 2:30 in the morning. So yeah, sleep for me, I need to try to figure out what can help or what can improve with the sleep. I've been going on the walk still, doing 10,000 steps a day. That's 5 miles. That's the equivalent to 5 miles. So I also want to throw out here, because last time I didn't do this, but I want to throw this out there this time. So I use an app called Map My Walk. So what that does is it maps your entire walk on a map, and it also tells you like how many miles you've walked, and like how many calories you burned, and like your pace and things like that. So it's pretty cool. I do it every single time I go on my walks, and I log my walks, and then you can see the history of like your previous walks and things like that. Highly recommend that app. If you have it, it's free. Map My Walk. Try to see if you have it available in your app store. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So the socializing has increased. The anxiousness has decreased. I'm kind of struggling with the sleeping a little bit, but I'm kind of learning to trust myself a bit more this week for sure. It's been like this thing that I've just been kind of dealing with, is just allowing myself to feel comfortable. I'm still getting used to it, because like when you build up so many avoidances, it's like you're taking the bricks down one by one. So it's like kind of normalizing to do things that you used to do, still getting into those things, but just normalizing being comfortable, allowing yourself to do things outside of anxiety, like listening to a podcast or talking to friends, uh, other things like that. Today, I felt very depressed, in the morning. So um, I think you're always going to have those ups and downs. Like when it comes to depression, when it comes to, even if it's not depression, if it's like anxiousness, if it's other things, that are causing you to feel a certain way, just know that feelings do change. Like for instance, when I woke up, I was feeling like that, but I allowed myself to relax in bed. I texted a friend, or I was texting a couple friends. That kind of helped a little bit, but then I started to really feel the depression kind of hitting me. And it was like the feeling of like kind of numbing feeling, kind of like, why am I feeling like this? I've done so much work. You're like just questioning everything, like, why am I still feeling like this? Like I'm like, why is it still happening to me? And you kind of just like, what's the point of doing anything if like I'm still feeling like this? And that's the feeling that I was having. But what I have to do is kind of or what I'm learning to do is to like change your actions to change the feelings. So for instance, like I said, let's stop or let's try to move out of these negative feelings or negative thoughts, and let's turn on the light. Let's turn on the light, because like if it's gloomy in your room, like I have, my room tends to be kind of like on a cloudy day, it tends to be a little bit darkish, a little bit like not positive energy. So it's like turn on a light, um, play some sounds. I put on like some chirping bird sounds to kind of like lighten the mood a little bit. I haven't done that in a long time. Or listening to like high frequency music, high energy music, um, and being social. Like I picked up the camera and I was like, you know what, today's the day I want to record. So I've been probably doing this for the last hour, and this is the actual video I'm going to record. I don't even care how it comes out, because I've repeated myself probably like 4 times. Um, so just changing your mood, like I'm going to eat a salad pretty soon. I'm going to see my therapist or talk to my therapist at 3 o'clock in about like an hour or so, and just kind of change your moods, like do something that'll change the mood. Because if I would have just sat in bed for the previous hour and just thought all these negative thoughts, I would probably be feeling a lot worse right now, like a lot worse. And that can contribute to your anxiousness and your other feelings that you're having. So those thoughts aren't helping at all. So, and I know it feels like you can't get out of those thoughts, but trust me, like I said, feelings can change especially when you take a shower. You know, like take a warm shower. It doesn't have to be a very long shower, but if you want to take a long shower, take a long shower, but make sure it's warm. And right after, just either go on a walk or do something that you like or that you enjoy doing. But for me, I always go on a walk right after I take a shower, because it gets you in your cognitive, you know, uh, state of state of mind. It's like you have to be aware of cars. You have to cross the road. You have to move out the way. You see people. You interact with people a little bit sometimes. Um, it just gets you out of that. It gets you out of your head. You know, kind of like more in the cognitive, brain, whatever. So that's something that I recommend, like taking a shower, going on a walk, listening to something, and you will feel better, after like 40, 50 minutes. So I want to rate this week, probably, I want to give it like an 8 out of 10, because although I've had some depressive symptoms, some, or like some depressing moments or some feelings of, feeling down, and that just wasn't today. There's some ins and outs. I feel like these feelings are like a wave, like they come in, but they go back out. So it's like you just have to kind of trust yourself to get through it, like kind of trusting yourself, because in that moment it feels like that's the only thing that matters, right? Like in that moment you're just like, this feeling sucks, like this, like what's the point? Like you're questioning everything. You just like, and that's all in that moment. But it's like you have to trust yourself to to know that you will feel better, or that the feeling will change or it'll flip. So that's what I'm going to be practicing this week as well, just kind of trusting that I will feel better eventually. Okay, so let's start with what I plan on doing for the next week. So I repurchased this book. It's called Retrain Your Brain, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy in 7 Weeks by Seth J. Gillingham. It's on Amazon for like $8, which is super inexpensive in my opinion for what this book offers. But yeah, it's something that I first got when all this stuff started hitting me. The anxiousness that caused me or led me to go on my walks and to start addressing or readdressing my agoraphobia. I think it was mainly just addressing the anxiousness that I was feeling. So now, being that I bought it a second time, I want to address the current symptoms that I'm having or that I'm currently going through at this current time. So it's like, I don't know, like it's like retaking a class or something, like I'm doing it again, but with different symptoms this time. So I'm addressing different aspects this time around. So the goal is to work on the CBT workbook. I also want to continue coloring or get into coloring, like I previously mentioned, exercising, doing 5 sets of 20 push-ups. You don't have to do it every day. It's like you have to allow yourself, because when you first work out, you're going to feel sore. So maybe allow yourself like 2 to 3 days to rest before you do it again. But if you can manage, then do whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be what I mentioned. You can do any exercise that you want to get into. This is just my plan. Doing the CBT workbook, coloring, exercising, and kind of working on my sleep, because I need to figure out what's going on with my sleep, how I can sleep better, because the last couple of days it's been pretty rough. So the CBT workbook, coloring, exercising, working on my sleep, still continuing the daily walks, 10,000 steps a day, which is the equivalent to 5 miles, and trusting myself. I think that's the important one for me, is like trusting that everything will be okay, that I can get through the day. That's my list for the coming week. That's just what I want to improve on, and I want to take baby steps, because I was doing this at like 1,000 miles an hour the last like 2 months, because I thought like, just getting through the day was going to be rough. But now I have to understand that, we can take things slow, just address it one by one. And also, I want to add on there still to continue to be more social, just still work on that. So that's my plan for the week. I know it's a bit similar to what I had previously planned, like the coloring and being social and stuff. But this one, I think I'm adding on a few different items this time around. So I hope everyone's had a great week. If you made any progress, mention what you did in the comments, and mention what your plan is for the week if you have one. You may or may not have one, but yeah, feel free to comment anything that you guys want to down below. And I hope everyone has a great week. And I'm also thinking about different video ideas for different, other videos. So I might upload another one this week before the weekend next week. But yeah, so I'm just taking it day by day. And I hope I feel better next week. All right, we'll see you guys later.